Hello everyone. In the today class, we are going to discuss on support reaction. So the content of the lecture goes like this: introduction, types of support, fixed support. In the type of support, we have various types of supports: fixed support, simple support, roller support, and hinged support. Types of beams. In types of beams, we generally classify the beams on the two categories based on the support and based on the degree of determinacy that we will discuss when we go to type of beams. And the next one is type of loads. So for various types of loads that is usually going to act on the structure that we will discuss in further slides. Okay, so coming to the introduction. So first of all, what is support? Supports are the adjoining structural members which helps in transferring the loads. Okay, say example, if you consider a one frame structure, that means if you consider a one house, the load from the slab will be transferred to the beams. Beams will transfer the load in turn to the columns. Columns will transfer the load to the foundation. This is how the load is going to transfer to the soil. So in this case, if you consider the slab, while analyzing the slab, the beams will act as a supporting element for the slab. The slab will be resting on beams. So the beams will be act as a support. Similarly, if you want to analyze the beam, you have to consider the supporting element for the beam. So for the beam, usually there will be columns or there will be a walls as a supporting elements. So those are called supports. So basically, what is support reaction means? It is the reaction or the resistance force against the applied load will be called as support reaction. Okay, say example, if you are telling that there is a reaction as per the Newton's law, when will reaction is going to develop? The reaction is going to develop when there is an action. So when there is action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So the reaction will come only when there is a resistance. So here, for different support conditions, what are the various types of various reactions that is going to develop, that we are going to discuss in the further slides. If you look into the different types of supports, the different types of supports are fixed support, simple support, roller support, hinged support. The fixed support, fixed means there is no possible movement of, there is no possibility of movement. Okay, so that is called as fixed support. That means any body, any rigid body or any body can undergo deformation in two manner. Either translational motion, it can go deformation in translational direction, or it may go deformation in rotational motion. Okay, so either it can be rotated, then whenever there is a force, there will be a displacement. The displacement will be either translational displacement or it may be rotational displacement. So whenever there is a non-concurrent force system is acting, there will be a translation as well as rotational movement. So we are going to discuss the various support reactions that is going to develop for the different types of support. So let us consider the fixed support. So this supports keeps the end of the beam fixed. Usually in this chapter, we are going to, most of the time, we are going to find the reaction for a beams. Okay, beam member. So for beam member, if it is a fixed means the supports are fixed, means the beam can resist to take any kind of translational or bending. That means if the support is fixed, means it does not allow the beam to undergo any deformations or any motions. Okay, so therefore the fixed support will have always three reactions. Three reactions means it does not, what are the three ways of translation, three ways of motion? One is translation motion. The object may move in the horizontal direction. So in order to avoid that, there will be a reaction in the fixed beam which is in the horizontal direction. Suppose if the beam is trying to, if the beam is moving in this direction, the reaction will be always opposite. Okay, so if the beam is trying to move in this direction, then the reaction will be opposite. So there will be a horizontal reaction. One is horizontal reaction in the fixed support. Again, if you apply the load, it does not, this support does not allow it to undergo vertical motion. So there will be in order to resist that, there will be a reaction developed in the support. So that is called as vertical reaction. And similarly, if you apply the load, since there is a perpendicular distance, there will be a moment in the clockwise direction. In order to counteract that, there will be an anti-clockwise moment developed in the support. So these forces will resist the change or deformation of the object in a particular beam. So here you can see the live example for fixed beam. If a beam is connected to column by a bolts, then we can consider it as fixed beam, fixed support. Okay, so usually for fixed support, you have to remember that there is a three reaction. One is horizontal, one is vertical, and the third one is moment reaction. Okay, so in any structure, there is a possibility of three changes. Okay, that is, it may change in horizontal direction, or it may move in horizontal direction, or it may move in vertical direction, or it may undergo rotation. Okay, so if all the three movement are restricted, then we will call it as, such a type of support will be called as fixed support. Okay, in the fixed support, we have to remember there is a three reaction. One is horizontal, one is vertical, and the third one is moment about z axis. Okay, so if you consider this as x axis and this as y axis, and the axis which is perpendicular to your screen will be called as z axis. So the moment about z axis will be this moment. Okay, so in order to keep the system in equilibrium in a non-coplanar system, we generally, there will be three equilibrium conditions. One is sigma fx is equal to 0, summation of fx is equal to 0. In order to keep the system in equilibrium, the summation fx will be equal to 0 and summation fy will be equal to 0, and the moment about z axis must be equal to 0. These three are the conditions of equilibrium in a non-concurrent force system. So in a concurrent force system, we only use fx is equal to 0 and fy is equal to 0. Sigma fx is equal to 0, sigma fy is equal to 0. In the non-concurrent force system, there will be a moment. So we have to consider the three equation. Sigma fx is equal to 0, sigma fy is equal to 0, and moments mc must be equal to 0. These three are the equations of equilibrium. Okay. Now let's move on to simple support. Second type of support is simple support. If the support is resisting that means, say example, if you keep an object over another object, that will be considered as simple support. That means in the perpendicular direction, that means along the transverse direction. Say example, if the load act on this direction, it will develop the reaction. If the load act on this direction, what happens? It will move the object. Since there is no fixity here, the object will fall down. So there is no reaction along horizontal direction in a simple support. In a simple support, there will be always vertical reaction. You can see the example here. A beam is resting on two supports simply. So this can be considered as simple support. In this type of support, the beam is allowed to rest freely on a support, as we can see in the below figure, and then we can observe that beam is free to move in any direction and also to rotate about the support. It can rotate about the support, but it does not undergo deformation in the vertical direction at the support. Okay, so if the load is applied in this direction, we can lift the object easily. Okay, so here the reactions will be always developed when the load is going to act in the downward direction. There will be a upward reaction. Since it is simply resting on another, this beam is simply resting on another object, so this type of beams will be called as simple support. Okay, next one is roller support. So roller support means, for roller support, the best example is your wheelchair. If you apply the load on the horizontal direction, what it is going to do? It is going to move, right? Suppose if you sit on the chair, it does not move because you are applying the load in the vertical direction. In the roller support, the reaction will be always perpendicular to the surface, not vertical always. It will be always perpendicular to the surface. Say example, if the roller is on the inclined support, then the reaction will be perpendicular to this inclined surface. Okay, say if this is the roller support, the reaction will be always perpendicular to the surface. This is inclined surface, perpendicular to the inclined surface, there will be a reaction. A roller support gives the capability of the movement to the respected beam connected to it, may be along normal to the guides, or it can also rotate about the support, as we can see in below figure. Okay, so if you apply the load here, beam is going to rotate in this direction. Beam will be going to rotate, get deflected in this direction. Okay, so it is going to rotate. So the roller support will always give the reaction in the vertical direction. Okay, next one is hinged support. In a hinged support, there will be a restriction in two directions. One is horizontal restriction and vertical restriction. Say example, the best example is your door. If this is the surface of your door, if you apply the load in this direction along X direction, the door won't move. Okay, if you apply the load in this direction, door does not move. If you apply the load in the vertical direction also, it does not move. Suppose if you apply the load in the direction perpendicular to the surface of the door is going to open. Okay, so that means it is not moving, means it is developing a reaction. Okay, so in which direction it is developing the reaction? If you apply the horizontal load, it will resist, so there is a reaction. If you apply the vertical load, it is going to resist, so there is a vertical reaction. If you apply the load in the Z direction, that is perpendicular to your door, it is going to rotate, so there is no reaction along for the rotation. It easily undergo deformation along rotation. Okay, so that's why in a hinged support, we will consider there will be a two reaction. One is horizontal and one is vertical. Okay. For fixed support, there will be a three reaction. There will be a three reaction. Remember, for a fixed support, there will be a three reaction. One is horizontal, one is vertical, and the third one is rotational. For simple support, the reaction will be always vertical. Third one is roller support. The reaction will be always perpendicular to the surface. If the surface is horizontal, the reaction will be vertical. If the surface is vertical, then the reaction will be horizontal. So in a roller support, there will be a reaction in the vertical, perpendicular to the vertical surface. Okay. For hinged support, there will be a two reaction. One is horizontal reaction and second one is vertical reaction. So this is about the types of support. Now let's discuss about the types of beams. Okay. So basically, based on the degree of determinacy. Degree of determinacy means depending upon the number of unknowns, the beams can be classified into determinate and indeterminate beams. So we know that we have equations of equilibrium. We have three equations of equilibrium. That is fx is equal to 0, fy is equal to 0, fy is equal to 0, and the third one is m z is equal to 0. Since it is a coplanar non-concurrent force system, we can use three equations of equilibrium. Okay, so first one is fx is equal to 0, fx is equal to 0, fy is equal to, second one is fy is equal to 0, third one is moment about z axis is equal to 0. These three equations of equilibrium. If the unknown reactions are less than 3, or in other words, if the unknowns reactions are easily findable with the help of equations of equilibrium, then such a type of beams are called as determinate beams. Okay, so such a type of beams are called as determinate beams. If the number of reaction in a beam, is greater than 3, or if the number of reactions in a beam is cannot be determined using the equations of equilibrium, then such a type of beams are called indeterminate beams. So if in simple words, you remember this equation. So if the number of reaction is less than 3, then we can classify it as determinate beams. If the number of reactions is greater than 3, then we will call it as indeterminate beam. So determinate beam is the beam having the number of reactions less than or equal to 3. Indeterminate beams are the beams having the reactions greater than 3. Okay, so let's again the beams are classified based on the support conditions. Okay, so let's look one by one. First one is called as fixed beam. A beam which is having the fixed support on both of its ends, it is named as fixed beams. Okay, so if the beam has if the beam has both the ends fixed, then we will call it as fixed beam. Okay, what is fixed support? It will resist the movement in all the three directions. Okay, so if this is a fixed beam, how many reactions will be there? There will be a 6. For each fixed beam, there will be a 3 reaction. One is horizontal, one is vertical, and the third one is rotational. Okay, the third one is rotational. Similarly, here also there will be a horizontal reaction, there will be a vertical reaction, there will be a rotation. There will be a rotational reaction. There will be a rotational reaction. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 reactions in this beam. So this fixed beam will be considered as indeterminate beam. Okay, so you can see the examples of fixed beam. If here the beam is fixed to column by means of bolts, so these are called as fixed beam. In a fixed beam, there will be 6 reactions. So you cannot determine the number of, you cannot determine the support reactions with the help of equations of equilibrium. So these beams are called as indeterminate beams. Okay, so fixed beam is an example for indeterminate beam. Fixed beam means if the both ends are fixed, then we will call it as fixed beam. Okay, so let's move on to cantilever beam. The beam has 2 ends. If one of the beam end is fixed and the other one is free, here you can see there are no support. Here the support is fixed by means of pole. Then such a type of beams will be called as cantilever beam. Okay, if the one end is fixed and the other end is free, then such a type of beams are called as cantilever beams. So here how many reactions are there? In a cantilever beam, the reactions, there will be a 3 reactions. One is vertical, second one is horizontal, third one is rotational. Okay, third one is rotational. Since it is a fixed end, one end is fixed, there will be 3 reactions, 1, 2 and 3. Since there is a no support, there won't be any reaction. So totally there is 3 reactions. So how many equations of equilibrium are there? There are 3 equations of equilibrium. There are 3 reactions. So since it is equal to 3, cantilever beam can be classified as determinate beam. So in a cantilever beam is nothing but one end is fixed, other end is free. There will be 3 reactions. Okay. Next, move on to third one. Third one is called beam with one end hinged, other end is roller. Okay, one end hinged, one other end is roller. So here there will be 3 reactions. There will be 3 reactions. One is for the hinged support. There will be a 2 reaction. One is vertical. Second one is horizontal. So that means it will restrain the movement in horizontal direction and vertical direction at this end. And this end, since it is a roller support, the reaction will be always perpendicular to the surface. Here the surface is horizontal. This bottom surface is horizontal. So the reaction will be vertical. How many reactions are there? 1, 2 and 3. There are 3 reactions. So since this is a 3 reaction beam, this beam is also considered as determinate beam. Okay, so these kinds of beams are capable to withstand load in horizontal as well as vertical direction, but it does not resist the moment. That means if you apply the moment, there will be a rotation. There will be a rotation. Okay, so this is about beam one end fixed, one end roller. So this type of beams is sometimes, for simplicity, if there are no horizontal forces, these types of beams are also called as simply supported beams. Okay, simple supported beams at the Karithim. Okay, next, the fourth one is simply supported beam. A beam with simple support, the beam with simple support exactly at 2 ends of the beam, then it is called as simply supported beam. Simple support means there will be a vertical reaction. There will be vertical reaction only. So since we have 2 supports, there will be 2 vertical reactions. The best example you can see in the picture, this can be considered as simply supported beam. Okay, it is simply resting, this stone is resting on these 2 stones simply. There is no bonding between these 2 stones. Okay, so such a type of beams are called as simply supported beams. How many reactions will be there? There will be 2 reactions, both are vertical. So since we have 3 equations of equilibrium, we can determine the supports reaction easily with the help of 3 equations. So this type of beam is also a determinate beam. Next one is overhanging beam. Overhanging beams. If the beam is extended over the support on one side or on the both side, then such a type of beams are called as overhanging beams. Okay, so in the overhanging beams, these supports are simple supports, or it may be a roller support. Okay, it may be simple support, or it may be roller support, or it may be any other supports, like it may be hinged support. Even though it is hinged, the reaction will be only one. Okay, the reaction will be only one. Okay, in an overhanging portion, the reaction will be vertical. How many reactions are there in this overhanging beam? There will be 2 reactions. Both are vertical. It can, best example is swimming pool dive board, and this is a gantry girder. This is an example for overhanging beam. Here you can see both the ends are projected over the support. This is the support here. Here one side is projected. One side of the beam is projected. There is no projection on this side. So either it may be one side or both the side. If it beam has extension, then such a type of beams are called as overhanging beams. Okay. Next is continuous beams. If the beam is supported over a series of support that is more than 2 supports, then it will be called as continuous beam. Okay, so you can see the beam which is provided in the aqueduct or in the case of bridges. These types of beams are called as, if it is resting on more than 2 supports, then such a types of beams are called as continuous beams. You can see the example of continuous beams. In continuous beams also, all the reaction will be vertical. Okay, all the reaction will be vertical. So this is about the types of beams. Now let's look into what are the different types of loads that can act on the structure or structural member. So the first one is called as point load or concentrated load, that you have already studied in the basics of engineering mechanics, that is basic idealization. We will assume the first one as point force. Okay, so point force or point load, we can call it. Okay, so it is also called as concentrated load. That means the load acting over a negligible area will be considered as a point load. If the load is distributed over certain length, then such a type of load, if the intensity is same, then such a type of load will be called as uniformly distributed load. If the load intensity is varying along the length, then it will be called as uniformly varying load. Okay, so let's look into the example. So here you can see the load acting over the plank, that is beam at the center, over a small portion. We can consider it as a point load. For example, a nail, if you hit a nail on a wall, the load from the nail will be acting over a small area when compared to the area of the wall. So that type of load can be considered as point load. Or you can consider the weight of a man standing on a slab on a floor can be considered as a point load on the slab. Okay, so that is called as point load or concentrated load. Next one is uniformly distributed load. A distributed load is a load which spreads on certain length of a beam, and if the intensity is constant along the length, it is named as uniformly distributed load. You can see here the load on the truck, the load on the truck. The weight of this pipeline, the weight of these pipes are uniformly distributed over a slab of a truck. Here the wheels can be considered as support. So this type of load will be considered as uniformly distributed load. But in order to solve the problems, we need to convert the UDL, uniformly distributed loads, or uniformly varying load, into the point loads. Okay, so how to convert the uniformly distributed load into point load means, if you want to convert the UDL into point load, the magnitude will be always equal to the length into intensity. Say example, if the intensity is 1000 Newton per meter and the length is 1000 mm, that is 1 meter, the intensity of the point load will be equal to the intensity into the length over it is acting. It is acting over a length of 1 meter. So here it is in Newton per meter. I am converting 1000 mm into meter. So 1000 mm means 1 meter. It is acting over a 1 meter. So 1000 into 1 will be equal to 1000 kilo. Okay. If you convert the UDL into point load, in order to find the magnitude, what you have to do is you have to multiply the intensity with the distance over which it is acting. And in order to find the reaction, you also need to find the distance at which it is acting. Okay, so it will always act at the distance equal to half of the distance over which it is acting. If it is acting over a length of 1000 mm, it will act exactly at a distance of 500 mm. Okay, 500 mm. This is how you have to find the intensity. So from either end, this load will act at the distance of 500 mm. Okay. Suppose if the beam, for instance, let us consider one beam. UDL can also be represented like this. Okay. Let us consider the magnitude of this as 5 kilonewton per meter. Okay. 5 kilonewton per meter. Here the load is expressed in terms of 5 kilonewton per meter. Let us consider the total distance is 2 meter. If the total distance is 2 meter and the load is acting for a length of 1 meter only, center 1 meter only. Okay. If the load is acting over a distance of center 1 meter, then in order to find the equivalent point load, what you have to do is write the beam again. It is 2 meter length. This will be what will be the intensity? 5 kilonewton per meter into 1 meter, because the distance it is acting is 1 meter. So the intensity of the point load will be equal to 5 kilonewton 5 into 1 meter, that is 5 kilonewton per meter. Okay, so 5 kilonewton is the intensity of the load, intensity of the point. What is the distance it is acting from this point? From this point, it is half of the distance. From this point, from the starting point to whatever the length it is acting, it is half of the distance. Okay, so here let us assume this as 0.5, this as 0.5. So what will be the distance it is acting? It will be acting exactly at a distance of 1 meter. This is how you have to find the intensity of the UDL. that you will came to know, you will understand better while we solve the support reaction problem. Okay. Okay, we will move on to the third type of load called as uniformly varying load. Okay. Whenever the load distributed along the length of the beam varies its intensity, then such a type of loads will be called as uniformly varying load. Here the intensity at B and intensity at A are different, so it is uniformly varying. Okay, so in uniformly varying load there will be two types of load. One is triangular load and the another one is trapezoidal load. Okay, so how to find, here also we have to find the intensity of the load in terms of point load in order to simplify our analysis. Okay, how to find the intensity of the triangular load, let us see. Okay, so in order to find the intensity of the triangular load, we have to find the area. Okay, here also in the UDL also you have to find the area. There it was a rectangle, so that's why what we were doing here, it is a rectangular load, so that's why length into height is the intensity. Okay, height is the intensity, so intensity into length ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. Similarly here also we have to find the area. Here the rectangular means length into breadth. Okay, length into breadth. Here triangle means half into base into height. We have to find out. Okay, half into base into height. So intensity will be equal to half into base into height, and it will act at exactly centroid. Yes, it will act at the centroid. You will come to know what is centroid and how to determine the centroid in the next module. Okay, so for time being, suppose the triangle need not to be distributed like this. It may be having a exactly right angle triangle also. Okay, in case of right angle triangle, from the hypotenuse end, which is the hypotenuse end, these two are hypotenuse ends. Okay, this is hypotenuse. From the hypotenuse end, the centroid distance will be always equal to 2/3 of the distance. If the length is L, the centroid distance will be always equal to 2/3 times of L from the hypotenuse end. From the opposite end, this is the opposite end. From this end, it will be 1/3 of L. Okay, 1/3 of L. This you have to remember. Okay, for triangular load, 2/3 from the hypotenuse end and 1/3 from opposite end. Suppose let us, for instance, let us consider a triangle in this direction. Okay, let us consider a triangle in this direction. Okay, so then the centroid will be at a distance of 2/3 from hypotenuse end. This is your hypotenuse end. Okay, and 1/3 from opposite end. Okay, this you have to remember. So the distance will be 1/3 and 2/3, but in case of regular triangle, other than right angle triangle, then the distance will be exactly at the midpoint. Okay, exactly at the midpoint will be the distance. Okay, now if you want to find the equivalent point load for a trapezoidal load, what we have to do, we have to divide it into two parts. One is rectangle, one is triangle. Okay, This is rectangle, this is triangle. So there will be two loads. If this is the beam, for this intensity, it will be exactly at the center. It will be exactly at the center. And we know that from this end, from the hypotenuse end, for a triangular load, the load will act at 2/3 of the distance. 2/3 of the distance. Okay, 2/3 of L. Okay, this is 2/3 of L, and this is L by 2. This is L by 2 from either end. For this point load, the distance will be 1/3 of L from this end and 2/3 of L from this support. Okay, so that's how you are going to convert it into point load. That you will going to understand in the while solving the problems. So apart from this, there will be a moment will also be there. So that can be also considered as a one type of load. So these are the various things you have to know before finding the support reaction. Okay, so what we have discussed, let us summarize in general. So we have discussed about the different types of support: fixed support, simple support, roller support, and hinged support. For the fixed support, there will be three reactions: horizontal, vertical, and a moment. And for a simple support, there will be only vertical reaction. For the roller support, there will be a reaction that is always perpendicular to the surface. There will be only one reaction for roller support. For hinged support, there will be a two reaction. One is horizontal and another is vertical. So regarding the types of beams, we can classify it into two categories: determinate and indeterminate. Determinate are the one which has having the beams having the reactions less than 3. We can call it as determinate beam. If it is more than 3, we will call it as indeterminate. Based on the support, we can classify into 6 categories: fixed beams, cantilever beam, beam with one end hinged, one end roller, simply supported beam, overhanging beam, continuous beam. And we have also discussed about the point load, concentrated load, uniformly distributed load, and uniformly varying. So I will end this lecture. So in the next lecture, we will solve few problems. Okay.